Live from twitch.tv on site with Muga Matsui, it's Vtuber Talk. Hi everybody, I'm Jay, I'm the host of Vtuber Talk. Usually things are on my channel, but we're doing things a little bit differently this week. I'm doing, like I said, a on-site interview with Muga tonight, and I'm so happy to be here, so happy that Muga, you have graciously allowed me to be on your channel and to share your community with me. Tonight's interview will end up going on my YouTube channel, so people who aren't live can see it after the fact. I'm Jay. I host interviews with VTubers once a week, usually on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. This is episode number 36. I've been doing this since January, and I've only missed a couple of weeks. And it's funny, Muga, I have actually known about you since I started, because the very first person that I interviewed is a good mutual friend of ours, Lane Blanc. Mm-hmm. So this is a while in the making. That when I first started my show, you were still working with your PNG, and I knew you were working towards getting your model all set. So I was sort of had you on the list. Was like, all right, I know Muga's working on her stuff. I want to have her on. I'm going to wait until she's got all of her stuff up and running, because I want to make sure that she looks as good as possible. And now we finally get to actually do this and talk, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me.
Yes, that, like I said, it's a little bit weird being the guest and the host, but we'll make this work. So obviously, the vast majority of people here tonight, I'm assuming, are already familiar with you, but for anyone who isn't, or anyone watching after the fact, if you could do a short introduction for yourself.
I'm sure you guys know this, but I'm Muga! I'm a strawberry hamster. I specialize in ASMR content. I have been working really hard on ASMR content for Patreon and YouTube, but also Twitch streams. Also music too.
Definitely both topics that we're going to touch on tonight, and I suppose ASMR definitely has become your bread and butter, especially over the past couple months, so I suppose why not start there? You're not the first ASMR artist that I have spoken with, and one thing that's really cool about ASMR is that everyone has their own take on it, everyone has their own style. Some people just do sort of chatting streams, but with softer tones and with different triggers and whatnot. Some people do bigger productions. That you just last night were doing a yandere roleplay ASMR stream, which had a lot of people, locked in the basement. There were chains. No, wait, sorry. That yandere one was like 2 nights ago. It was a couple nights ago.
Yeah, it was two
last
nights
night
ago.
Was a pillow fort one. Last night was a pillow fort one.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling too good last night, so I made a pillow for it. We were just cozy, but I did do a yandere RP.
Do you remember what your first ASMR stream was? The first time that you actually, tried your hand at that type of content?
The first time I tried it was not good. I don't remember why I decided to start it. I was very curious, so I just I turned my microphone and onto like a weird setting I thought would work, and it didn't. And I tried to whisper. And yeah, I did my best, but I didn't know anything. I didn't research anything beforehand. I just kind of did what I thought I was supposed to do. But after that, I researched a lot. Yeah, I spent a lot of time researching other ASMR artists and like IRL and VTubers, and listening to a lot of audio and watching a lot of streams. A lot. I spent a lot of time doing that. I still do, but yeah. Most of my time I do that.
Do you feel like you've taken any particular cues from other ASMR artists that you mentioned you watch a lot and obviously did your research? Were there any people or I suppose sort of tactics in particular that you picked up along the way that you feel were, very impactful for you and your content? Because obviously not everyone uses every trick in the book, but just as you go along the way, you find certain things that work for you. Were there any, I suppose, people or methods that you sort of clicked with in particular?
I feel like of all like the ASMR artists that I watched when I was kind of getting my footing, I would say that Lemon Leaf, she inspired me a lot to kind of get my own style, I guess. I look up to her a lot. Yeah, actually, she's the reason why I wanted to start ASMR in the first place. But yeah, I feel like she inspired me to do my own kind of thing. Not to copy her, but to do my own thing. To me, I feel like I try to make people feel like we're just hanging out, you know?
Yeah. For myself, I'm the type of person that I do not really respond to ASMR triggers at all. That I don't dislike them, but just for whatever reason, that type of content has not clicked with me on the sort of deeper level that some people listen for. But I found myself really getting to like a lot of ASMR artists just because if you're good at ASMR, you're good at talking. And I enjoy streams who are good at talking. Surprise, surprise, the talk show enjoys people who can talk. And just for that reason that, like I said, you're not the first ASMR artist that I've interviewed. And that's because even as someone who doesn't necessarily go in for, the tingles or the triggers, that I'm able to tune into these streams and still have a really good time because the streamer themselves is able to carry the show, so to speak, in such a way that it's still really entertaining and engaging for me as a viewer. And I think you definitely succeed a lot in that as well. That it's what I think sets people apart from just sort of going through the motions versus being, just that step more with their engagement. And I think you do it really well.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I always want to make it more of a personal thing, because I've had a lot of viewers that they've told me personally they don't respond to ASMR tingles the way that a lot of people do, right? Not everybody does, so it makes me wonder why are you here, But it's not always for that. You're right.
Yeah. For you yourself, was getting into ASMR partially because you enjoyed that type of content, or was it something that you saw and were like, I feel like I could do something really different and creative here that sort of got you from a creative sense, even if you aren't necessarily someone who reacts to ASMR yourself?
I mean, I do react to ASMR, but I thought it would be a good way for me to combine some of my talents into one thing, such as writing and music and acting and just streaming in general. And it's been a fun way to combine a lot of things I like doing.
Do you have any favorite sounds to either make or listen to? So just, when you're in the audience, or ones that you've really enjoyed making or using in your own productions?
I think for my stream, we like to stick to cozy sounds mostly, like blanket noises or ear cleaning or a lot of ear rubbings, that kind of thing. Cause like I said, I mean, you see we're in my room here. I tried to make it kind of like a sleepover kind of thing. A lot of the time it's a very late night stream, right? Up into the wee hours in the morning. So I like to let people feel like they're here with me, and that we're just hanging out. So cozy triggers.
Yes, yeah, and you mentioned sort of late night streams. That this is definitely one of the later shows that I've done. But I always tailor my shows, whether it's on my channel or the guests, to make sure that it's at a time that is convenient and conducive for them and their own community. So it's cool for me to be broadcasting at this time of day to begin with, but for you as well, you make a really interesting observation there of that. One, it's when you're available genuinely, but also that it then sort of plays in well to your personal style and brand of being a bit cozier, of the type of thing that someone can tune into before bed or even fall asleep to, because it's just very gentle, very soothing. That, yes, you do have your yandere ones every so often, but yandere isn't necessarily your brand, that you are more of the comfy cozy type.
Yeah, I just want to be versatile, and have different things that I can do here and there. But yeah, I like to be cozy.
Yeah. When it comes to those different sound effects, how many different blankets or pillows or things have you used? Have you found, all right, I know that this blanket gets a better sound if I ruffle it a little bit, or sort of hitting this pillow or massaging this pillow gets a better result? That I have to believe you've done a relatively good amount of experimentation with the materials you have to work with.
I have I have this like utility cart by my desk, like by my PC
Oh my
setup.
gosh, that's so cool.
It's just full. It's full of stuff that I just find, like out in the wild. Like I have like corks and like just like random stuff that I found that I thought sounded cool. It's kind of nerdy, but I don't know. You just never know what you're gonna find that could be useful.
But yeah, that shows that you're a sound designer. Just regardless of if it's ASMR or composition or like a Foley artist. I have a couple of friends who do audio professionally, and I've just seen them post, on social media, the random sounds that they pick up of just them, outside, stepping on a couple of different leaves, holding their, really nice recording microphone out to it, trying to get that sound. And one thing that not a lot of people realize for sound designers, my guess is not so much for ASM artists, but possibly that developing a sound library. And for some people, that is an actual file library of, just, I have 20 different recordings of crunching leaves, I have 10 different recordings of bells being rung. And while you probably aren't working with that type of recording, that you have developed a mental sound library of, okay, I know I can do this to make this sound. I know that this particular object will allow me to do this. And that's where your cart comes in, that you're able to just, reach out and be like, okay, what do I want to work with today at this moment? And just sort of in your head go through, all right, what do I have to work with? And pull from this just reserve that you build up over time and that will continue to build over time as you find different items and different objects. Are there any objects that recently you've found that are particularly quirky or unexpected?
I was telling my child last night, I bought this tamakayaki pan, like an omelet pan from Japan, right? Like a square pan for making eggs. And sometimes when you buy stuff from Japan, they give you a gift, right? It's kind of customary. And so they gave me this little like silicone, I think it's like a massager thing, but it's like this like tiny pink thing that has these little bristles on it, a silicone thing. So when I unpackaged
I'm trying to figure out how that is related to an omelet pan.
I don't know.
Is it something that you use to like clean it?
I don't know. I don't think so at all.
Because I'm very familiar with the, inclusion of like little gifts and whatnot, but usually it's either something that is related to the object that you bought in the first place, or it's something that's very generic.
Yeah, like a bracelet or something.
A pencil case, a bracelet, or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Useful in everyday life. So the idea of this sort of just random bristled massager just feels a bit odd. Like I said, the best guess I have for it is maybe you're supposed to use it to clean the pan?
Maybe so, but when I unpackaged it, I knew exactly what I was using it for. I took it right upstairs.
Like,
Little
okay,
rat.
I didn't mean to buy something for the ASMR streams, but I'll take it.
I was actually way more excited for that than the pan. Not gonna lie.
What you need to do now is buy more things from that shop.
I guess so. No, I was stoked. I was so happy. I was like a little pack rat walking up the stairs with that, hiding it behind my back. But yeah,
Hamster.
I still don't. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I guess that. Or I just like pick up like random things like cork bottles from like wine or not cork bottle. Cork from wine bottles. I always like pick them up from outside. I know it's kind of gross, but they sound really nice, so I try to collect those too.
What do you use those for? Is it like tapping on things or sort of scratching on them maybe?
Both. I like to scratch them mostly, but also tapping on them. Snugspawn actually taught me that. She's also another VTuber ASM artist. She taught me that a while ago.
Is that something that, I've picked up a little bit of ASMR knowledge of just, rubber gloves or just, silicone objects or bells or metal things. Cork, this is the first time I've heard of something like that, and it makes sense, but that's definitely, I suppose, a less intuitive one. So that's really cool that you've been able to pick that up, because I could see, all right, if you have it with the bottle, there's that classic sort of uncorking noise, but I don't think that particular sound would be as useful for ASMR, but I suppose scratching in general on various surfaces is a thing in general in ASMR, because scratching on, a piece of metal versus cork versus scratching on a blanket is going to sound different, very, very different, depending on the material. Do you have any sort of favorite things that you like to do scratches on?
Well, okay, so like I said, like it's mostly cozy, right? So my community, if I scratch something, then most of the time it's like a head scratch, right? So usually I try to keep things soft. So a lot of the time I'll put like a blanket on top of my microphone and do scratches on that.
That's a good way to sort of emulate the scratching sound, because the scratching sound of like a scalp is very interesting for multiple reasons, because it's not just a sound that you hear in your ears, but because it's, you know, actual skin contact, that you sort of like hear it in your head in an unconventional secondary sense. So that has to be a particularly unique and tricky thing to emulate.
Yeah. Definitely. Kind of like, you know, those like head massager things, like the little like weird like
Things
pringly
with like
things.
the big wire prongs.
Yeah. So like that's like one of the like baseline ASMR things. Like most people that don't know about ASMR, they might know about it because of those things getting popular, because it triggers it for a lot of people. The way that you feel kind of like the tingles in the back of your head, and that turns into like a warmth throughout your body. That's basically an ASMR tingle, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people felt it for the first time using those because they got kind of popular a while ago.
I remember seeing those things like at malls. For some reason, that's sort of the mental image that comes up when I think of those, like, where I remember seeing them. But I remember seeing those things for the first time a while ago now, at least a decade ago, that they aren't new things, but I can see how in the world of ASMR that there'd be that type of connection.
Yeah, definitely.
Are there any sounds that you've been trying to create that have been particularly challenging and you might not have gotten to the level that you want yet?
That's a good question. I feel like there's a lot of room for improvement in a lot of areas. I don't know if I have a specific answer for that, but I do hope to keep experimenting with different kinds of things. Maybe more like liquid sounds. I haven't done a lot of experimentation with liquid sounds. A little bit, but not a lot.
That's cool, yeah. And just like you mentioned, of just sort of finding things along the way, that I'm sure there's going to be any number of different items or sounds that you might not even think of that will sort of be stumbled upon, and that's got to be a very fun thing.
Yeah.
Have you started to do anything in terms of being able to more actively seek out sounds and objects like this? Have you, I don't know, like browsed a thrift store or sort of like gone online and sort of just scrolled through different websites with the particular mindset of, I'm looking for a hidden gem of something for the ASMR streams?
Yeah, I know. I think I do that like every day, honestly. Even when I'm at like work, like I'll like wrap something in like paper, and then I'll like the way it sounds, so I'll steal the paper, or like or like take stuff, like I don't know, just like little objects that make a nice sound, that I'll like steal a little bit of it or something. Yeah, definitely. I'm always listening for stuff. I feel like since I started doing ASMR, I have been more open to that just in everyday life, which is nice because it's actually pretty relaxing too for me. So it's a win-win.
That's super cool. Do you have any particular roleplay scenes or just different scenarios that you haven't tried yet that are sort of on a list of, I want to get to these at some point?
Oh, so many. I have a long list of roleplay stuff. I haven't really... I really only have done one like roleplay stream, which was the other day, yandere. So I have a long list of stuff that I want to do. A lot of my my creative energy has been going towards writing scripts right now, so I haven't had as much time. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I want to do.
Well, I suppose on the topic of making scripts, are you able to talk about any of the ones you've been working on, or is that currently classified information?
It's not that classified, but I'm not finished with anything. Right now I'm working on, I'm actually working on my first NSFW script for Patreon. It's my first one, so it's been kind of challenging. And after that, I am doing a special one for Patreon as well for October for Spooky Month.
Yay, Spooky Month!
Yeah, that's coming next. And then after that, I'm not sure. I write little things here and there, just really short things to release as well. But most of my energy has been towards the first two.
Cool. Well, speaking of Spooky Month, we are now in October. This is my first show in October, so we're finally, getting into the Halloween spirit of things. You mentioned to me that despite your pink pastel decora style, that you're actually really into horror games and just horror in general.
Yeah, I like horror games. I would say mostly like horror like stories and like visual novels and stuff. I'm not that big on games anymore, to be honest, but I like horror visual novels and also stories, so I like to read them a lot. But mostly I like to write them. I think it is more creative for me to write horror for some reason. I don't know why. I think there's just like a loss of reality. I don't know. 'Cause I'm kind of a nice person.
Do you have a particular style of horror, I suppose, that you find yourself trending toward? Because there's bodily horror, there's psychological horror, there's, a type of foreboding horror where you don't even necessarily see or experience that which is being feared, but the horror is fear itself. Anything that you find yourself tending toward, whether it be in what you yourself enjoy or what you find yourself writing?
I think for thinking about the things that I've written more, it is a lot of psychological, but also, how do I explain? I guess like, my main focus has always been like the end of the world, right? So,
Ooh, oh my.
Yeah, I don't know why. I've always hyperfixated on like the end of something. So if I don't know, a lot of people that have been around for a while might know this, but I have a really hard time saying goodbye. So I hyperfixate on that kind of feeling of like nostalgia, and I don't know, I have a rough time with it, so I write about it a lot because it makes me sad. But also it gets me feeling kind of creative. So like end of the world or like post-apocalyptic stories. I wrote a whole novel that was post-apocalyptic. I can't even say it, but yeah, like very like gray and ashy feeling. Not so cute.
So that's something you actually mentioned to me the other day, and you mentioned again just now that I did not know about you, that you have written an entire novel.
Yeah, I wrote a 500-page novel.
And I didn't actually know that that's what it was about, that it was a post-apocalyptic novel. You just mentioned that you have a unpublished novel, so I'd love to hear about that. You've said it's unpublished and not going to be published, so no risk of doxing yourself there, but
yeah, no.
Anything that you're comfortable sharing, that anytime somebody spends that much time on one project, it means they've put a lot of effort and time and thought into it. So I'd love to be able to sort of uncover what is this big creative thing that you've done that I don't think has really come up on your streams before.
No, I don't think I've ever talked about it. I don't know. I talk about a lot of things, but I don't think I have. No, I started the novel when I was a little kid, basically. Not really little,
so this
but
is a years in the making thing.
Yeah. I was very young when I started it. It was a project for school, actually. It was kind of a challenge. They were like, can you finish this novel in a year or whatever? And so the way I am, I'm very competitive. If someone asks me to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I can't, then some tragedy happened. But I'm probably going to finish the thing, right? So I finished it, and I poured my heart and soul into it. But basically it was, about the end of the world. It was a love story, actually, but it was pretty sad story, actually. But
oh no.
But I didn't do much with it, so I decided to turn it into a game, an RPG. So I was working on that game before I became a VTuber. Actually, that was my last project that I was working on. I was composing all of the music and writing it, so it was a little bit overwhelming, to be honest.
So this was a solo project that it was. You were writing, you were doing the composition. Were you doing, like, was this being done via RPG Maker, or were you actually coding it from the ground up?
I hadn't gotten that far. I was just writing, so I wrote. I didn't write the whole game yet, but I wrote all the like characters, and I wrote all their themes musically, and I kind of got the story going, but I didn't have a chance to finish all the dialogue before I kind of got busy. But I still want to work on it one day when I'm not so busy. So this has been
Maybe
like
that could be sort of a source for a future role player, just a ASMR, recording or something along those lines, that playing out parts from that story that you've written.
Yeah. Definitely. I would love to bring it into my streams. I hate to like put it aside, when I work so hard on it.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about creative projects like this, that they don't have an expiration date, that even if you're not working on it now, that it's always there, sort of just on the shelf, and whenever either the creative urge strikes you, or whenever you realize, oh, there's a way I can tie this into this other thing I'm working on, that that effort and time is not wasted, that you still have it and can pick it up and use it and modify it at any time.
Yeah. Plus, like, something like that is like, it's like ingrained in my head, so it's not like I'm ever gonna forget it. Like, those characters mean a lot to me. Yeah, a lot of them I feel like are based off me in ways too, so yeah, no, they're here in my heart. So yeah.
That's neat. Do you have any I suppose bits and pieces of those characters that you're able to share to sort of give us an idea of what was going on in the story? That you said it's post-apocalyptic romance, but there's really a lot of directions that could take, so I'm curious sort of where you went with it all.
I don't know. I guess the story was like, so the story was based on 2 characters, but the game I introduced some more characters to give it some, I guess, kind of like roots. But the main story, it kind of it revolved around these 2 people that were going through a breakup, but also kind of like the world was ending, right? And like each day, little bits of the world, they were starting to drop off until.
Okay. So this is not we open on a post-apocalyptic landscape. It is the world is deteriorating before the characters' eyes, along with their relationship simultaneously.
Yeah, it's like very, very gray, kind of like I don't know how to explain it the right way. I can see it perfectly in my head, but
dramatic is sort of the term I'd use. It this is, I guess, definitely a divergence from the pastel decora hamster that we all know and love.
Yeah, I like dark themes though. I always have liked dark themes. I think it's a good way to express yourself, and also wearing this kind of stuff. It doesn't mean you can't like dark things,
Oh, for sure, yeah, and just the fact that you have those diverse interests are just really cool, and the fact that you've been able to find this type of joy in these different areas, it means that you're very exploratory in your own interests and figuring out, okay, these are different things I like, and that you're able to really just enjoy both of them, because you're right, people aren't just one thing, that you aren't just the pink decora hamster, that you have all these other things, and that's really cool, and that's part of what I really enjoy sort of digging into here, because these are the things that don't really come up every day.
Yeah, everybody has like multi-dimensions, That's why you have to be like very mindful, like when you talk to people, because you never know.
Do you have anything in particular for Halloween that you're looking forward to, whether it be a tradition that you do or something with your content that you're planning?
For Halloween, well, in life, I don't have too much. I'm so busy. Usually well, I always watch Mahosukai's Precure. I don't know if anybody knows, but it's a magical girl series, but they're witches. So I always watch it on Halloween, and I make grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Ooh.
And I eat
now,
candy.
Is grilled cheese and tomato soup something that is thematic to that series, or is that just a comfort food for you personally?
No, my mom always made that before I go trick-or-treating, so to me it's comforting.
Oh wow! So and then it's a tradition unto itself.
Yeah, I don't know if other people do that, but yeah, she would always make that for me whenever I would get ready to go trick-or-treating because I really like dressing up. Yeah, so it was like really fun for me. So it was like this big ordeal. But now I don't dress up, so I just watch TV and eat stuff. But for content, I do have some stuff planned, but it's secret.
Have to stay tuned for that. Do you have any favorite Halloween costume memories just from when you were younger? Any outfits that just stick out in your mind, whether it be something that you made, bought, or just had a really good time, going out and trick-or-treating in?
I remember one year, my sister, so I have an older sister, right? And she was like the coolest, right? Like she was like the cool girl in school. But I'm a lot younger than her, so she was like a cheerleader and all that, and I just wasn't, I wasn't like that. But one year, I finally got big enough that I could wear her old cheerleading outfit, so I got to wear it for Halloween. I felt so cool. I felt like a popular girl. It was the best time ever. That was probably the best one. I don't know. I used to cosplay, so I have worn a lot of costumes, but I don't ever wear them for Halloween.
Any favorite cosplays that you've made? Ones that you're particularly proud of, or were there any projects that you really got into with that?
My favorite cosplay. Oh, I don't know if I can even remember. It seems like a whole different life away. I used to do a lot of idol cosplays. I did a lot of like Idol Master. I don't know if you know what that is.
Ooh, I do know Idol Master. I have a soft spot for the original Idol Master anime series. I haven't played the games or anything, but I really enjoyed that anime. I know that they've done additional series. That there was Cinderella Girls. I've not seen that one, but the original Idol Master.
Yeah, 765.
Absolutely adored that series.
I used to cosplay Anzu from Cinderella Girls. I used to competitively play the game. So
oh, wow.
Yeah, she was my Oshi for a long time. I cosplayed her. I guess I like that one a lot. But also, I think my favorite was when I got to cosplay Kyriel from Hugto Precure. I like Precure a lot. But yeah, I cosplayed a lot.
That's another series I have not seen, but I know Precure, and that's, honestly, it's not as well known in the West as Sailor Moon, but in terms of Japan, I would say that it's bigger than Sailor Moon. That there's Precure even airing now. That this is just a long-running series that has had iteration after iteration and has been relatively contiguous in its broadcasting.
In Japan, it's like little girls, they'll tell you, like, if you ask them what they want to be when they grow up, they'll tell you they want to be a Precure. It's like a big thing. But here, like, no one knows what it's about. So, like, they don't know anything about it.
It never really made it to the West. That I don't think it was ever licensed.
Yeah, well,
or
recently...
it was only, like, one season.
Recently, Crunchyroll got rights to Precure, actually. So you can actually watch some of them on Crunchyroll. Not all of them, but you can watch, like, 5 or 6 of them now. But yes, for a long time, you couldn't at all.
Yeah. I mean, like, it never hit broadcast TV here in the West. That it was never on, Toonami or Cartoon Network or anything like that, since that was the gateway, really, for a lot of people getting into anime prior to streaming being a thing. But yes,
that's true.
Some of the newer ones are licensed and streamable now, but it's not that, big legacy name title here in the US like it is in Japan.
Yeah. I don't even know how I found it, but I latched onto it. I have, like, this huge collection. Oh my gosh, I have, like, hundreds of things I've collected over the years from it just because it makes me so happy.
It's so cool. Any favorite Precure items that you have in your collection?
I collect ones, like Magical Girl ones, so I have, I think, like 20 or so that I've collected, and friends have given me some too, which I'm very thankful because it's hard to find them, but they always look out for stuff for me, which I think is really sweet. Glitter Force now. I have a lot of things I feel like are very precious to me. I can't think of a favorite, but I value all of them, actually. And I've made a lot of friends through it, too.
any starting point or favorite series in Precure canon that you would recommend for people if they're trying to just get started? Because, at least from my understanding, they're all separate in continuity, or at least in the core stories, that there are some consistent themes and just sort of motifs throughout, but that anyone can really pick up any particular season of Precure, and as long as you start at episode 1 of that season, that you'll be just fine. Is there any particular iteration that you point people toward?
I would say if you're like really wanting to get into it, I would watch ARKHAND Precure, because it's one of the better ones. I feel like some of them can be kind of slow, to be honest, but once you get into the really good ones, you'll watch them all. You'll watch every single one like a million times over. Yeah, I would say ARKHAND. It has some bops in it too. I feel like most people, if you have listened to J-pop, you know some of the songs from ARKHAND. You just don't know it.
Ooh, that's always interesting when, you know, certain series have either theme songs or insert songs that end up getting known really well, and then finding out, oh wait, that song's from there?
Yeah. ARKHAND has some good songs in it. Also, my personal favorite was Hugto Precure, which is, it's not that old. It was, I think 3 or 4 years ago. It was a more recent one. It's so good. It's literally so good. There's a trans character in it. Yeah, just that right there. It's amazing. But yeah, no, they really pushed the boundary with that one, especially for it being a little girl show. It was really impressive. It left a big mark on me.
And especially that for Japan as well, that's really cool that they were able to go to that type of place with the series, and to be able to have that as something that kids see growing up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember crying watching it, because it was just amazing to see, you know, like, I don't know, pushing the boundaries, exactly. Yeah.
Wrapping back to Halloween, super controversial questions, and I'll let you pick 3 favorite Halloween candies.
Halloween candy, but I'm gonna get roasted. Okay, you know the candy corns that are like little pumpkins?
Yeah.
Those are the best ones, though.
I feel like candy corn has gotten a unfair, just bad rap the past couple years. That, yes, it is basically just pure sugar.
It's good.
Like, in small amounts, that the candy corn is the type of thing that you have a handful or two. It's not something that you have, you know, a whole bag or something of, because that type of sweetness, at least for me, gets overpowering if you have it too much. It's not something that you can have like potato chips, really, but, you know, just like a handful or two for me always hits the spot. And it's that type of taste that, you want to talk about nostalgia, candy corn is such a unique nostalgic taste for me.
Yeah, it's good. Also, pixie sticks.
Ooh, pixie sticks are their own thing, because then you're getting into like powder and whatnot, and they have the different flavors. Yeah, it's like, I've never really thought of that as a Halloween candy, but thinking back, I can't really think of times outside of Halloween when I had it.
Like, you know, like the little snack size ones.
Yeah.
Those are good. Also, I don't know, Halloween candy. I eat candy all the time. I just bought some Jolly Ranchers for my Halloween ASMR audio thingy I'm doing.
Ooh, and
So
that
I
probably
guess that.
of all the candy wrappers, like Jolly Ranchers have those really crinkly ones, so I'm sure that'll play very well.
Yeah. That's why I picked them.
Any favorite flavors of Jolly Ranchers?
The watermelon one.
Ooh,
I think
those
that's
are
the one.
good.
The pink one, right?
Yeah.
I usually always pick pink things. No matter what, I always pick the pink one.
I think we can tell gestures broadly to your model and background.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. Speaking of lifestyles and fashion and pink, decora, obviously it's one of your big sort of thematic elements. From my understanding, it is a fashion trend that has its roots in Harajuku, Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong there? So,
Yeah.
For me and the other uninitiated, I know bits and pieces about decora, but I would love to hear just, please give me a good rant. Sell me on decora.
A good rant on decora.
Or just about your love for it, anything at all, really.
So for me, since I was a little baby Hamlet, I used to read a magazine called Fruits magazine. I have one over on my wall, but my chat box is covering it up. But yes, I used to read Fruits magazine. And basically, what Fruits used to be. It's not publicized anymore. It is online, I think, but it used to be a physical magazine. Anyway, so a guy, he would go and do street shots in Harajuku. And it wasn't just decora, but I would say at that time it was the most prevalent fashion style that people would kind of associate, right? Along with Lolita. So little baby me was reading these magazines and thinking, wow, I want to wear that. So I started collecting hair clips basically my whole life, and accessories and like necklaces and rings and stuff. And yeah, I spent a lot of my life looking for things like that, whether it was from a designer or if I was maybe at a convention and I found a creator that made something cool, or even if I was just at like Party City and I had to hot glue stuff together at the dollar store. I've done that many times. I burned my hand a million freaking times, but
oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've been doing this my whole life. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's a good way to express yourself. It's nice to be able to incorporate different, I guess, aspects of your interests too. So it's not just like cute hearts and like stars and stuff, but you can also put like toys and nostalgic bits and like, I don't know, motifs that mean a lot to you.
One of the hallmarks, really, of decora is that it's a collection, it's a compilation of items. It's not like, in Lolita you might just have the dress. That is, the singular object, the singular garment that you wear, and you have a lot of detail. And that one thing, that decora is all about many little things added together, and that's usually in the form of, like you mentioned, hair clips or just different accessories, and having all these different individual pieces that come together sort of in a collage of sorts.
Yeah, and it's not just like some random thing too. Like, I feel like it all kind of works at the end, but
yeah, it's the coordinated chaos of being able to put all these things together in a way that feels, cohesive, but at the same time, part of the appeal is that it's, splashy, a little bit chaotic, and that you have so many different colors and styles and are able to combine them.
Yeah, definitely. People they like to ask questions about it all the time. So I'm kind of used to like answering these questions, I guess, because people aren't used to seeing this, especially not in the West. Like I live in the West, so they're not used to seeing this kind of style all the time. I really do wear decora all the time, right? So people always want to stop you and say like, "Oh, what are you wearing? Who are you dressed as?" No one, myself. They never believe that, but it's just so like strange for them, I guess.
Do you have any favorite hair clips or accessories among your collection?
I don't think I'm wearing them, but I have a lot. I have this big fluffy jellyfish that I don't remember the artist that made it, but it's like this huge, like, I guess kind of like a rosette. I wear it all the time, but I don't know why I'm not wearing it tonight. That's probably my favorite, but I have a lot of hair clips. I probably have like hundreds of them.
How do you organize them all? That I have to imagine that I don't know, actually, that do you just have a giant sort of treasure chest with them all in there, or do you have them like up on a rack neatly organized? How do you manage this collection that you've accumulated over the years?
Well, I didn't before, but on my 8-month anniversary, I actually had a hair clip organizing ASMR stream.
There you go.
So I bought these cute like little containers. They're like Kirby containers, and I organized them all, and I sorted them, and I made everyone do it with me so that I had to do it.
That's one way to force yourself into organization of do it on stream.
Yeah, well, I thought maybe they'd make some nice sounds too, so
Yeah, just
so win-win.
clicking of getting everything together, or just getting it all there. And did you say Kirby containers?
Yeah, they're like Kirby bentos.
I love Kirby.
Me too. I love Kirby. I can't wait for the new Kirby game.
Yeah, I was actually just talking about the I think it's a Kirby and the Lost Kingdom or something. I'm blanking on it. 1 second. I don't need to look it up, otherwise it's gonna bother me.
I don't know all the names. It's okay.
Game, because it was only announced like a week and a half ago during the Nintendo Direct. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. There it is. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that. The trailer looks super cool. It's gonna be the first time I think that it's gonna be a 3D Kirby game, not 3D in terms of graphics, but that you're going to be walking on a 3D axis, because Kirby has historically been a side-scroller.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited for new games. I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for Splatoon 2.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be coming out. The constant joke we've been seeing lately is, oh, Splatoon. Didn't you see they just made a new show about that on Netflix? It's called Squid Game.
And I kept seeing people talk about Squid Game. I thought they were talking about Splatoon 3.
Splatoon, yeah.
And then I thought Squid Game was a game. I just found out.
Not the same, from my understanding. But
yeah, no, I'm excited for those two games. I might even actually have to stream them, even though I don't stream games very often.
So what are these different Kirby containers that, are they just, like, Kirby with a big open mouth and you put them in his mouth? Or...
No, they're supposed to be for, like, bento, like, lunch boxes, but, I always buy things with, like, I have, like, a purpose for them. So I bought them because I knew I was gonna put my hair clips in them. But I thought it'd be fun to do it on a stream, so, yeah. I put it on YouTube.
This
So,
is interesting.
if you want to watch it.
104 in the chat says, when will the question of the edible hair clips come up?
There's no edible. They always want to eat my hair clips. They're not edible.
And here I was like, oh, I've heard of crazier things than someone designing, a candy hair clip that can be worn and then eaten or something.
I mean, there used to be candy necklaces, but
yeah. Oh gosh, that's a throwback. Candy necklaces.
no, I guess my necklaces kind of look like those a little bit, but no, all of my jewelry is it's permanent. It's not edible.
It is non-edible.
No.
So it's technically edible. That, in the words of Willy Wonka, technically everything is edible.
No, don't tell them that.
But that, my dear children, is called cannibalism, and it's quite frowned upon in most societies.
Yeah, don't tell them that.
Or maybe that could be for the next ASMR stream. the next Yandere stream, at the very least, rather.
Oh my gosh. No. Do not encourage them.
Horror stuff for Halloween. There you go, right there.
Missing ear.
Oh no. Are there any particular styles or sort of, I'm not even sure what the right term is, but like types of decora pieces that you enjoy? That you mentioned hair clips, but you find yourself trending towards, particular, either whether it be like pinks, or do you like things that are rounder, things that have ribbons, or is it sort of a free-for-all for you?
I feel like a lot of the time it is just kind of depends on my mood. Like I'll just like kind of, I usually put my outfit like out on my bed, and then I add to it before I put anything on. Even my hair clips, I will like, it looks kind of crazy. It looks like a whenever someone is killed and then you have to put like the outline of them on the ground.
Yeah. Oh.
But that's how you can kind of see like what it might look like. So I guess, I don't know, I really like to layer like socks. So I will wear like leg warmer socks and like scrunch them down, and then I'll wear like short socks and then long socks and then tights over them, which people think are kind of crazy because it's so hot where I live, but I think it's cute. I don't know. I do a lot of layering, I guess, is the right answer. There's just a lot at all times.
Over the years, have you found sort of a favorite look or composition of, all right, this set of half a dozen or a dozen accessories in these locations, like that, if you want sort of a surefire thing and you aren't and you don't have a new inspiration that day, a sort of prepared look or layout that you have, or do you feel like you've never done the same combination twice?
Yeah, no, I definitely have like a few looks that I will tend to go back and forth with, but I'll change it a little bit each time. It can never be exactly the same because it's just like, it's so over the top. What we call it OTT in fashion world is, you call it OTT, right? Like over the top. It means like, kind of like what I look like right now.
Yeah.
It's hard to replicate this more than once,
True.
But
what do you usually find ends up being in, even if it's not the same exact thing every time, that what is sort of that formula of one of your go-tos?
I like to always put toys in my outfits. I like to add toys, and if I can't find things that have toys on them, then I make it. So like, I'll get like little toys and hot glue them to hair clips, or I will make like a necklace or like a ring out of them.
Ooh, what types of toys? So are we talking like, I suppose small figures,
yeah,
or
like
little toy cars and stuff?
Like, yeah, exactly, like little small like plastic things, or sometimes like plushie, like really tiny ones. I'm always looking for stuff, is the thing, like for fashion and for ASMR, so there's two purposes to everything that I have here. Yeah, so I have like a little collection of toys. Also like erasers are good for that.
Ooh, yeah, and especially like it's a bigger thing in Japan than it is in the US, but there's like, collecting erasers is a hobby unto itself. That there are companies that will make these just super intricate, they might as well be little figurines, but they're actually erasers, and people almost never actually use them as erasers because they're collectibles.
Well, you can't use them because they're too cute.
Yeah, but there will be like gotcha machines that have a different series of erasers, or that you can go to a store in Akihabara and find just shelves or racks of these little erasers that are sometimes of characters from different series. Sometimes there'll be little animals, fruits that it feels like they're almost as common as bone charms.
Yeah. I was also gonna say, like gachapons, like small like keychain types. Like that's perfect. Like that kind of thing is exactly what I'm talking about.
Do you have any? When you're out and about, are you usually sort of in the back of your mind thinking, okay, if I see something small today, I will pick it up? Or do you find yourself more often, I suppose, going out with the mentality of, okay, today I'm looking for new decora pieces?
I don't think so. It kind of depends. Like, there's some areas near me where I know if I go there, I'm gonna find some good stuff, right? So I will definitely keep my eyes open. But most of the time, it's just a matter of finding the right thing at the right time. You can't really plan it. Like one time, I went to this thrift store, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and I was a little bit upset because I didn't find anything, and I really needed to find some stuff for an outfit. And at the checkout line, because I was with my friend, she was gonna buy something. They had Duffy. Do you know who Duffy is? He's
I've heard that name and I'm blanking. Please remind me.
He's the bear mascot from Tokyo Disney. He's I guess like a big figure in Japan, more so. But anyway, like Tokyo Disney Sea, I guess. But they had this set of Duffy pins at this random thrift store, so of course I bought them. But I was so excited. But you just never know what you're gonna find. I would never think I would find that.
What's the strangest or most unlikely place that you've ever found a decora piece that you ended up getting, of just you were out and about and you saw and you were like, I need to get this, and I did not expect to find something in this place of all places?
I'm not sure, but I feel like that's me at Walmart a lot. I always find stuff at Walmart. Or like Party City. Like I said, I like will go through those like bins of stuff and usually find stuff there. Or just like random antique shops too, I guess.
Yeah, I have to believe it. Just antique stores and thrift stores are probably hit and miss, but I feel like they could be a gold mine because those are just, you never know what you're going to get. And it feels like if you see something there, you might never see it again.
Yeah, exactly. And it might be dirty, but you just have to clean it. So it's okay.
Yeah.
People get scared to like put effort into things, I think, because fast fashion is like prevalent, you know, like people just want to go and like buy stuff and wear it. And again, I understand it's easy, but it's way more fun to be creative.
Which piece do you think you've put the most restoration work into, whether that be like you had to wash it off really intensely, or maybe one that you even repainted or did a bit of sprucing up with you know, I don't know, extra paint or, you know, little jewels or whatnot? Anything that you bought and then it became a mini project unto itself?
I have, I was very, very lucky to find this Cheer Bear, Care Bear, the pink one with the rainbow belly, kind of like the most sought after one.
With Care Bears.
So I found this Cheer Bear backpack. It's like my favorite thing ever, but it was very dirty and like disgusting. So I had to go through a lot of steps to clean it. But now it looks like perfect, and I got it right before COVID, so I haven't really gotten to wear it anywhere. But yeah, probably that one, or a lot of like the ponies that I found, like My Little Pony, because they're very old. They get pretty dirty.
Yeah, that obviously My Little Pony had something of a renaissance like a decade ago, but just it being such a long-standing franchise that there are these older models out there that I'm sure have seen a lot of love and a lot of wear over the years that probably needed a little bit of sprucing up.
Yeah. I used to collect them when I was a kid. Like the older, like Gen 1 and Gen 2 ponies, but I don't have any of them anymore, unfortunately. I wish I did.
Any particular pieces that you're currently on the look for? Something that was like, all right, I don't have either any or enough of this type of thing in my collection, and even if you aren't, you know, going out every day or every week or whatnot looking for it, that's something that's sort of you're more cognizantly on the lookout for.
Probably I've been trying to branch out my style more to do like yami kawaii. Do you know what that is?
I do not. So yami means dark in Japanese.
So it's like sickly cute, kind of. Maybe that's not the correct way to say, but it's like cute but dark cute. So
again, combining your love of both horror and cute things.
Exactly. But I have pieces. I have a lot of main pieces, but I don't have a lot of like outfit finishers, I guess. So definitely that, but I feel like that's more once I get out and about and like shopping and like going back to conventions and stuff, I'll be able to find like the perfect things there. A lot of small creators, they will specialize in that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do
you have any suggestions for people who might be looking to get into decor, of places to start? Is there you've mentioned a couple sort of go-tos like Party City or Walmart. Is there anything that you like to tell people who are starting to get into this or are considering getting into it?
I would say, like, don't get caught up in, like, brands. There's a lot of brands that are really good, and I could definitely recommend brands any day, but you could look that up yourself, you know? Just don't be afraid to get creative. Don't look too much at other people. Like, find the things that you like and incorporate them into your own style, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have to go spend a bunch of money. Basically, you can make it. You can make a whole outfit under $10, but you just have to be creative.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the cool things of just since it isn't necessarily a dress that is sort of the centerpiece, that it's this combination of smaller elements that you can not only mix and match, but that each element it's possible to find and create a full ensemble with things that are very affordable.
Yeah. That's the whole point of decora. It's supposed to be like light and whimsical and like not stressful, you know, like it's supposed to make you happy, so you don't have to go spend all this money. Like just do it. Just make stuff. Be creative.
Yeah. Wrapping back a bit to Magical Girls, that we mentioned Precure earlier. You said that Magical Girls in a way have had a influence on your style and design as a whole, and obviously going from decora, I could be wrong. I, at the very least, am not aware of any decora Magical Girls. Are there any?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I think that in the genre, like there's definitely a lot of pokes at different fashion styles for sure, and vice versa. Maybe I'm the first. Are there any
particular elements that you found yourself drawn towards that you've incorporated into your style, whether it be for your model or just your everyday fashion sense?
Well, I like the idea of like being able to transform from one thing to the other. So the whole point of me is like I'm a hamster girl, right? But I'm also just a hamster, right? I'm a hamster and I'm a girl, so yeah, I can transform back and forth. You just don't know yet.
That might be. Is that possibly, you know, like a future designer model, or
maybe?
Do you think that they have to stay tuned? That never know what might end up being, you know, next for you. That it's been very cool watching you this past year or so. That obviously you've been at this longer than I've been doing this, but just like I mentioned, sort of coming from P&G, having your model made and having that debut and getting everything off the ground has been really fun to watch from afar.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been quite a learning experience. Yeah, maybe like the craziest
it's been that
year
for everyone. It just in this past year and a half, 2 years, that obviously VTubing had a big boom around this time last year with the introduction of HoloLive English, but that obviously was not the starting point, but it definitely
for a lot of people it was.
Yeah, so it feels like a lot of people this year have been learning many different things, just about streaming, about content creation, about themselves, about their style, and that's one of the really cool things for me as an interviewer, that getting to meet and talk with everyone and being able to see how everyone has changed and continues to change, that content creation is a continuous and a growing experience. And you know, you found ASMR after you began VTubing, correct?
At least I wasn't ever anticipating and trying it.
Yeah, and just that type of discovery, that along the way some people you know, either find a game that clicks well for them and their viewers, or finds a particular type of content. In your case, it was ASMR, and I definitely noticed sort of the shift a little while back, because I think the first couple of streams that I saw you playing were Pokemon Sword and Shield. I got a clip way back when of you, and it was you camping with, I believe it wasn't Alcremies?
Yeah, my favorite Pokemon.
You had a camp set up of 6 Alcremies just sort of walking around, making the little sort of squeaky sounds as they walk, and it was you in your element, and you were just so tickled and happy, and it was a fun little clip that I remember getting. But then you started shifting to, you know, different games over time, and eventually you found ASMR, and nowadays I'd say probably about half your streams, if not more, are ASMR. That the schedules you've put out for the past couple weeks, apart from me, have just been ASMR, but you've continued to keep a diversity within that, of it's not just the same type of, you know, generic triggers in chat every time, that it's, you know, Pillow Fort this time, Yandere that time, and sort of dabbling around in different areas of that, and it's been very cool to see.
I try to keep things at least a little bit diverse, because I don't want it to just be boring all the time. But I do enjoy ASMR, so I don't really foresee straying from it too much. But yeah, it's fun. Like this week we're doing emo night, which is always fun. We do that sometimes. I just kind of like do emo karaoke night, but it's ASMR song whispering. It's really fun.
I don't think I've ever actually seen someone do ASMR karaoke because, at least in a conventional sense, they're a bit antithetical to each other. That singing requires the breath support and requires projection, so
it's really
ASMR,
hard.
I don't have a ton of singing experience. That I did some musical theater back in high school, and I have enough knowledge from just doing band and playing a wind instrument of knowing that one of the most difficult things to do in music is to play softly. So it's something that the average viewer might not know, but ASMR karaoke is honestly karaoke hard mode.
It's super hard, especially when it's like 4 or 5 a.m. and I'm already tired. But it just always happens. I don't know. It's just like a thing we do.
You need breath support to hit different notes, especially when it gets into higher ranges, and putting in more support to get to those higher places usually results in higher volume. So being able to restrain yourself and still get the support to hit the notes cleanly without actually increasing your volume is a very technical thing and takes skill.
Yeah, it's definitely very hard. But yeah, I try to always schedule stuff, like special stuff.
Have any favorite songs to sing, whether it be in ASMR karaoke or just normal karaoke?
For ASMR, I like to sing like My Chemical Romance a lot. And like
that fits the emo theme.
But for like regular karaoke, songs that I always sing Bakamitai. And what do I always sing that I like? I don't know. I did like a whole like city pop karaoke not too long ago, probably like a month ago. I can't remember how long. I did like I think like 10 or 12 city pop songs, and I felt like that was really fun.
Ooh.
But I try to always like pretty much pick new songs and then add on the songs I already learned. So it's kind of like a voice bank of songs.
Yeah. You have the ones that you know and that are very comfortable and not as difficult as they used to be for you, but then, slowly adding more to that list, learning new things along the way.
Yeah, like at one point that song was really, really hard for me, and then now it's like Soraro Days. Like I sing that song probably every karaoke, but at one point that was very difficult for me to sing. I think everyone in my chat probably remembers me struggling to learn that song, and now it's like one of my stronger songs, so I'm proud of myself for that. It takes a lot of practice.
That song definitely near and dear to my heart. For those who aren't familiar, Soraro Days is the theme to an anime called Gurren Lagann, which very, very well-known series and really, really cool one that I've seen a lot of covers of that. I remember like even Gura did a cover of it with I can't remember who it was, but it was a duo cover. But it was a cool one, and that's one that's always fun to hear in different karaokes because it's not an inherently easy song, but it's one that most vocal types can do in town. Find that it doesn't strain in a particular vocal style. That it's very flexible.
Yeah.
Is the best way to put it.
I agree. Yeah, I like to sing that song now, but it definitely was hard for me to learn. So yeah, it's nice to see progress. I guess I have definitely progressed a lot, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah. Are there any songs that you're currently working on that you're able to sort of tease and talk about that we might be able to look forward to in future karaokes?
I've been working on Racing Into the Night by Yasobi. But that's a very difficult song, so it's been about 2 karaokes it missed because I couldn't finish it in time. But I'm actually trying to pick a song to do a cover, like a full cover, like a fully mixed cover. But I haven't decided the song yet. So
Ooh.
that will be coming shortly, but I have to decide.
Mhm. Now, still on music, but going from singing to composing, that you mentioned that you had actually composed musical themes for the characters in the game of the novel that you wrote.
Yeah.
That's something that we don't really get to see or hear from you very regularly, is the fact that you are a composer, that in addition to singing, that you have that type of background.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been composing, actually?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have like a certain time I could give you because I've been making music my whole life. I started out doing singing competitions when I was really little, so really young. I every weekend I would go and do bluegrass festivals with my dad. So that's how I kind of learned how to play a different variety of instruments. So I learned how to play mandolin and banjo and guitar, and mostly I sang, and I played violin too. And then
Hold on. Maybe I've just missed it. Have you done any streams
No.
where you played these?
No, I haven't yet. I play
Okay, because I was like,
very
I
many
feel like I
instruments.
would have seen if there
No.
was a Muga banjo one.
No, I do still have a banjo, but I haven't played anything on stream. But I do want to one day maybe play something on stream, but I haven't decided.
I feel like that'd be a lot of fun because, you know, obviously, singing is really cool. There's a reason that karaoke streams are so popular, but that's something that a lot of people do. I don't think I've ever seen a banjo stream. You mentioned violin. I've seen a couple people play violin on Twitch. I've never seen a VTuber doing violin on Twitch, and that.
I have a friend that does actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, he had a concert this weekend.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, just being able to have access and the knowledge of being able to play these different instruments, that's something that I hope eventually you'll be able to figure out a way to comfortably, work into your streaming rotation, because I think that'd be just super cool.
Yeah, I'd love to. I definitely was planning to do like Vocaloid production streams sometime in the future, but that is a lot of work. So I'm still kind of trying to understand how I would make that, I guess, work. And be entertaining too, if that makes sense. But really, when I compose, everything is physical. So I think nowadays most people, they use like FL Studio, and it's all pretty much digital. But I guess one thing for me that's a little bit unique is I do everything by hand. So I record every instrument physically, like I play it myself. So it takes a lot of time, and also I have to learn different instruments. I've learned a lot of instruments that way, but yeah, it's a lot of work.
I have a couple people in the chat knowing FL Studio. I never used FL Studio. I dabbled in not composing but arrangement a while back. I remember using there was Finale, Sibelius, Note Flight, but I don't know FL Studio.
I know, I think that's like a more modern program. I never used it, but I noticed most people using it. Yes, he made my BGM actually, but I know he uses FL Studio along with a lot of people. But yeah, I do everything like physically, so I can't make as many things.
Does that include the notation that you write it down on, the staff paper, or do you
sometimes
use
I do a lot kind of by memory, so yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit of a crazy process, which is why I don't get as much done as most people do, but I used to, especially when I was more piano based, but now I just kind of make crazy stuff and hope it sounds good.
Are there any you mentioned, obviously, you've been very busy with VTubing and ASMR lately. What is one of the more recent pieces that you've worked on, even if it's not necessarily complete, if you're able to talk about them?
I think the last main thing I got close to finishing was my last character theme for my game.
Okay, so actually, I suppose since this has come up a couple times now, could you sort of step us through the different characters and their themes? Because I'm a big game music nerd. I listen to video game soundtracks a lot. I was once in an ensemble that played just video game music, so those types of themes and compositions are definitely of particular interest to me. So for at least the ones you remember, could you sort of step through the different characters, tell us a bit about the character, and then how you wrote their theme?
Sure. So what I can remember off the top of my head, my favorite character, the one I spent the most time writing and composing her theme. She had 3 themes because I liked her the most. She was a little girl, and she was kind of like, I don't know, like really, really smart for her age, but since the world was ending, obviously her life sucked really bad, so she's kind of like dark, like scary little girl. So she didn't want to leave like her room or anything, so a lot of her music was kind of like, how do I explain it, like kind of, I guess, like creepy sounding, but I don't know, I liked writing for her a lot the most, because I don't know, I related to her a lot. The other characters would constantly be trying to like get her to leave her room, but she wouldn't do it. So
do you remember what types of instruments or maybe particular musical sort of motifs that you had for that one?
Yeah. So I play harp too. I used harp in a lot of the composition, and mostly piano and harp. And
that's interesting, because piano is usually thought of as sort of a lighter, warmer instrument, something that isn't going to be on that creepier, sadder side. So I guess I'm assuming minor keys, dissonant tones in here.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. For me, I've always kind of composed piano pieces very, very dark and sad sounding, but I don't know. I could see both sides though. But yeah, definitely I leaned on piano a lot and harp, and I would use sounds from other things too that I would find, like maybe just like hitting the strings of an instrument that was near me, or maybe I like tripped and fell and hit something and it sounded cool, so I would record it. You know what I mean?
The technical term of what it is when you like hit a string, because I know when you're
like a pentatonic.
You can pluck for violins, but I'm remembering that there's some other term for when you actually like hit the things either with your bow or something like that it creates a very different sound. That's usually going to be one of your creepier, bit more unusual tones that you're going to get out of an instrument.
Maybe a harmonic. I don't know if that's the right term. I know like there's certain spots of a string instrument where if you hit them, then it sounds it's kind of like high pitched sounding. I'm not sure. One thing is I don't know a lot of like music terms because I've taught myself everything myself. So.
Oh wow, you're self-taught. So never took any of. So I was actually just looking it up. So hammering is when you strike it, but that's usually with mallets. But anyways, so this is self-taught. I didn't know that. So never took classes in school or privately.
I was in orchestra briefly for 3 years. That's where I learned harp and violin and cello. But I taught myself everything else. My dad's a guitarist and my mom's a pianist, so I would kind of pick up things here and there. Yeah, so I don't know all the terms for anything.
And yet, like, so piano you mentioned, but guitar was not one of them. So how did you end up upon harp, violin, cello? That violin and cello, I suppose, are common enough, but like not every school orchestra has a harp.
My teacher, well, I was first chair, okay, and I was bored, right, because it didn't seem like a challenge anymore, so I was kind of starting to give up on violin, so I was gonna quit, and she offered me the opportunity to learn harp because she thought maybe it would be challenging, so yeah, she let me switch. I usually didn't get to switch like that.
He had to be nervous, like, I'm too good for all this. Yeah,
No.
I'm beyond this.
Well, I thought it was pretty, so I took the chance. No, I don't know. I have an affinity. I can admit I do have an affinity with music, especially a stringed instrument. I can learn them very quickly. So if I get bored doing something, I will not do it anymore. If I got bored like streaming, I would stop. You know. So I'm a very honest person.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any favorite pieces that you've performed? That do you enjoy performing the creepier pieces as well, or any, whether it be like something classical or maybe even an arrangement of video game music?
Well, in school, like when I had to do like recitals and stuff, I hated everything. I don't like being told what to learn and what to create. So
Yeah, I feel like nobody did.
No.
There are very few people that I know, even the ones that are most into music and went to college and got music degrees, whether it be for composition, performance, teaching. I don't think I really know anyone who enjoyed recitals unless they were ones where they were given complete creative freedom for the set list.
I had some, I guess, I was in piano at one point in school because they decided to make this piano class, but they didn't really teach you anything. They just kind of gave you a book. So I just pretended to do the book and I would make my own music. But I forgot how to read music at that point. So I found this program. I found this program online that where if you play the keys on the piano or the keyboard, it'll put them on the staff. So I cheated, and I would just make my own music, and the teacher liked it. So I got a medal. Actually, I got a award for graduation.
Nice.
So she thought they were like real songs that I was learning, but I was just making them. That was pretty cool. But I don't remember them.
I'm familiar with some of those programs that I don't know what they're called, but I know a couple people that have used one similar to that, where it's just you hook it up to the computer and the program will read the key input for whatever duration and just transcribe what you play as you play, and that's what a lot of composers actually use for piano music, that they just sort of plunk about and experiment in that way. They aren't constantly having to play something, see how it sounds, shuffle over, mess with the mouse, and click the separate things. They just say, play it out. Do I like it? Keep it. If not,
I'm sure that was what it was actually for, but I was like, oh my gosh, what if I did this?
Yeah, just being able to use it for those other things, and especially in a class, of being able to say, okay, well, I'm not using this book, but let's make our own stuff.
I guess that's like the moral of my whole life. I don't ever want to go by the book. I just want to do my own thing.
Yeah. Muga the Trailblazer.
Yeah.
Do you have any elements, I suppose, of your own VTubing experience where you feel like you either personally found a different direction that it might have been a bit contrary to what most people do, or something where you heard this conventional wisdom and have just gone in the completely opposite direction?
I mean, have you ever seen a strawberry hamster?
Fair. Very fair.
I mean, I don't know. I guess, like, maybe having such a loud model and doing ASMR is kind of one of those things, but I don't know.
I honestly never thought about it that way, but you're kind of right of that. There are a couple other ones that I can think of that have, very bright pastels in colors. But yeah, the aesthetic that you have is louder than your volume, shall we say.
Yes, that's true. That's kind of how, like, it is for me, just all the time, though. So, to me, it makes perfect sense.
Do you have anything that, do you see yourself possibly stepping back into composing anytime soon? Do you think you might ever want to do something like that on stream, or maybe compose yourself a new BGM, or do you think that that's something that's sort of put aside for now?
I think maybe one day. I think once I get a little bit more settled with my content creation and figure out my path, I would love to go back and learn how to make digital music so I can fit in with all the cool kids. But also just make my life easier. But yeah, one day I would love to. I would love to do that, but probably not for a little while, unfortunately. But yes, definitely one day. It would be cool to make a BGM, but I don't know. I trust Ark with my BGM forever now. He's so talented.
It is a very nice BGM, and it just one thing that I find with VTubers is that they're very good at knowing themselves. That it takes that type of awareness and knowledge, I think, to be able to be an effective entertainer and presenter and content creator, of knowing your own style and what works, because just your BGM, it feels like you, and that's the case for the vast majority of streamers that I've seen. Is that it's one of the cool things about being a content creator, of figuring out and doing that type of sort of off-stream experimentation or searching, trying to find the sound that is right. That I'm guessing you probably looked around and listened to different pieces, and probably worked with Ark a bit to figure out, all right, how do we make something that sounds like Muga?
My BGM was actually originally done by Tofi. It is a much louder piece. It was like hyper kawaii bass type of piece that I love it so much, but I couldn't use it very often because I started to do more ASMR, right? So it went under the rug. Yeah. So I could never use my BGM because it was too loud. So I was having to use just random songs off YouTube. So I thought, who do I know that could make the perfect ASMR BGM? And of course, I asked Ark, because Ark has made many pieces for my friends and peers around me that are very, very fitting to their characters, as you said. So he actually worked the original BGM into a new piece and added his own elements. So if you've ever heard my original, that little chime is actually from the original song, but he made it his own too.
So cool.
Yeah, so they tied together actually.
It's awesome. I did not know that. And, honestly, it's been a while since you've used the other one, so I can't recall
it has.
the one off the top of my head, but your current one is definitely one that I know, and just that light music box sound is music box is something that is very iconic in its own right, but it's something that's very rarely used. It's like the banjo. It's like, just one of those more niche instruments that has a very unique tone to it. But for your type of content where it's softer, something that you can play during an ASMR stream, it fits very, very well. And it's cool that Ark was able to figure out that different place to go.
Yeah, I like that he kind of added a sort of an eerie side to it as well. I don't know if that was intentional, but it worked out because of the way my content is kind of moving too. So it's perfect timing, honestly.
Yeah. For the Yandere ASMR that you did a couple days ago, you started working in some new and different visual elements that I hadn't seen before. That the most obvious one was you had, I assume it was just a color inverter, where, things that were normally white were black, and that you had this just a classic eerie, distorted color palette running. But then you also had these ones where the picture, so to speak, glitched in and out. You had a couple of the TV colored bars for a couple moments. I was on stream in a sort of way, but sort of glitching between that, and then you had this moon and all that different stuff. Was that something that you found somewhere, or did you craft that all yourself?
Oh, so for like the colorizing stuff, I did that myself. So the background was actually, well, the background was made for me. It's my custom background. It's originally like a bright pink, and I just like basically just put filters on it to make it black, and then I took a glow filter towards the top to make it seem like it was glowing, and then I inverted the colors a bit on my model so that it would look kind of like flat and darker, and give me kind of like darker eyes too. And then for the glitch stuff, of course I found that online, but I thought it was a fun touch.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, wow, that's... I've seen glitches used visually sometimes as a scene transition stinger, but I've never seen it used in a ASMR stream like that. And that's really cool, because that's an area of creativity that just adds a whole new layer to the experience, because ASMR at its core is just auditory, that visual elements are not inherently required for it. But since VTubing is a visual medium that, I imagine some probably just watch without looking, but most people are still going to be watching. So you have your model and you have all these different things, and being able to incorporate these types of visuals and start layering in these different areas of flavor and complexity feels like just this whole new realm to be explored.
I felt like I wanted it to be more like an experience sort of thing. And also I was experimenting because I actually made that a redeem. So eventually someone's gonna redeem it, and I can switch over to that screen and, have like a timer where I do like a little skit. But yeah, I just wanted to try new stuff. I bought all this new stuff to do triggers, which was a fun time.
Were there any particular ones that you found worked really well, ones that might get repurposed or worked into your broader repertoire, even if not in the exact method that you used them the other night?
I would say the chains worked very well. I don't know if those will work for...
I was listening in just to, sort of had it on in the background while I was doing other stuff, and the first time I heard the chains, I was like, is that chains? Like,
they're very heavy.
So I could see if it was chains, but did Muga actually get chains?
Well, I did. I got them, but they ended up being really heavy, like towing chains. I didn't know. So they were really heavy.
It didn't sound like small ones.
No.
That was the thing that just caught me off guard of like, it didn't sound like necklace chains or something. Do you have them nearby so people can actually get a sense of what they are?
I can get them, but I have to put them in my lap, because if they hit the ground, then like you'll hear
it's
like
gonna be
it sounds
really
like
loud.
I dropped something really, really heavy. But I can get them if you want me to.
Yeah, actually, let's step away for like 2-3 minutes, because we've been at this for a bit over an hour and a half now. That way you can like take a sec to grab all your stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to refill my water, but we will be right back, and let's do some tinkering.
Okie dokie.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Do you want to hear my chains now? You want to hear the chains? What kind of mic do you have? I had a Yeti when I first started too, so no worries.
louder now because I want to make sure that even if we're doing something a little different, it's important that people are able to hear.
Let's see.
Oh, okay. Bumblebee Potato says, "What are they saying?" That means that I need to be a bit louder. Okay. How about this? Just a little bit louder, a little bit closer to the mic. Bumblebee, can you hear what we're saying? Can you hear what I'm saying? I'm sure that.
I had you muted.
Okay, good. Yeah, just that little bit, because I'm sure that you're probably coming through clearly, because your setup is made for it. But I'm gonna scoot a little bit closer, shift my mic a tiny bit, and yeah, this is officially the first time that I have done quote unquote like an ASMR style ish interview. So new territory for me, very fun. But yeah, so this all came about because we were talking about the Yandere ASMR stream you did the other night, and how you had the chains as a new introduction, a new item to just create different sounds with. So you actually have the chains with you now, correct?
Yeah. I
Let's
always
hear
have
'em.
them. Do you want to hear them?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. I sleep with them. Okay, hold on. I have to
Where did you even get those? Because you mentioned that these are heavy chains. Did you go to, I don't know, a hardware store or something to pick these up?
No, I got them on Amazon.
Ah, there you go. Yep.
Can you hear them?
Yep.
Yeah, so this was like the main prop I used for the other. Yeah, Amazon came through. They are really heavy.
The only problem now is that all your Amazon recommendations are for like power tools and stuff.
No, it's like knives and duct tape and ropes.
Yeah, I guess just, industrial types of supplies or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I look crazy.
Joko's the word. The mailman must have been like, "What is this?" Yes, yeah, so did that get delivered like in a box, in a loop? How was the packaging? How did this get to your doorstep?
So I bought the chain, and then also I had to buy rope and a knife and duct tape. All in one box it came. So
Okay, well, so at least that mailman was, just bring up a box, and they don't necessarily hear or see everything there.
Hi,
we are
Hoshi.
being raided.
Hoshi, thank you for the raid. Hello.
Hi, Hoshi. I saw that Hoshi was actually streaming with Phoebe earlier.
Phoebe.
I forget the game that they were playing. What were you all doing?
You're playing Roblox.
Oh, fun.
Hi, Hoshi.
So you guys got here at a good time. We just got back from a break and are now doing sort of impromptu ASMR style interview talk, talking about some of the things that Muga has done recently with different props and different ASMR role plays, and now I'm ASMR as well because, well, it certainly wouldn't do for just her to be quiet and me to be super loud.
He's ASMR interviewer now.
Yes. A first for VTuber Talk in 36 episodes.
Yeah, I have the chains and then I bought the rope. So, yeah, I had to use the rope to tie everybody up. So, mostly I used like, let me get it, hold on. Yeah. Like this here. It's like a mile long rope.
Yeah, I suppose you can't exactly purchase 1 or 2 feet of rope from Amazon. That it's probably got to come in whatever, minimum 15 foot or however many meters cords, I'm guessing.
It's like really like a lot. So this is the rope I have. So yeah, I mostly just like did like cutting sounds and that. That and the chains was like the main thing I used.
Yeah, certainly chains are a very distinct sound, and it's just a very visceral thing that, and especially for something like a yandere roleplay or something like that, that it definitely evokes an immediate mental image, and it's just, it's so
It's like
unique
threatening.
and different.
Yeah. I was trying to be scary.
The other one, I remember you were sharpening a knife, or if you weren't sharpening a knife, you were scraping something against metal that certainly sounded like sharpening a knife.
Yeah, I always have well, I don't have them right now, but I have two knives that I always use when I do yandere stuff. I like sharpen them against each other, or I guess this one might work, but I'll like scratch the knife like that. Like that.
Do you ever use those knives for actual cooking, or are these ones that, just live in your room just as specific props?
I bought this one specifically for the stream, and then the other two are actually they are like cooking knives. I always steal them. I always get in trouble because I end up taking them upstairs.
I'm trying to chop up some vegetables. Why'd you take the good knives again?
That's the thing. I'm always running off with stuff. There's I take this pizza cutter, because if you tap on it, it makes like a bell sound. I used that a little bit too during that stream. It sounds really ominous.
Between ASMR and decora, that just you end up collecting a lot of different items and just like not a pack rat, but a pack hamster, I suppose.
But I'm very neat.
Accumulating different things.
But I'm very organized, so it's okay.
Yes.
It's fine. Let's see.
You mentioned that you have things on a cart that is next to your desk and everything. So how do you have this cart organized? Do you have all of the softer sounds are over here, all of the louder ones over there, or do you have them arranged by, type of stream, or what's your system?
I have the most used stuff on the top. So for me, that's usually
That makes sense, going by frequency rather than
yeah.
theme.
But whenever I stream, I'll put it on my desk so I don't have to make any noise. So for that yandere stream, I had to really plan, because the chains have to sit in my lap because they're so heavy. So they're right here.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the more unseen challenges behind the scenes for ASMR artists in general, of just in any stream where you're working with more than one or two props, that you have to be able to maneuver from one item to the next without making a lot of noise, because you're working, even if you're not working with something as fancy as a 3DO, that you're working with low volume, high sensitivity settings on your microphones, so you can't be shuffling around a lot. You need to be able to maneuver from one to the other without a lot of disruptive noise.
I put up what I call bumpers. It sounds dumb, but babies, you have to put soft stuff on the edges so they don't hit their head. Yeah, so I put fabric on everything so that I don't make a noise. Yeah. So I put blankies and stuff so that that way I don't hit anything. Yeah. That's always helped me. But it is difficult, especially when you have to type randomly, because you can never anticipate what's gonna happen in a stream,
Yeah. You need to be able to just go from one thing to the other, and that's certainly how I design my shows, my interviews. Like I said, that even though this is on your channel tonight, and being able to sort of have this collaboration, that everything in a good interview, I believe, has to be flexible, and I definitely think that extends to streaming and content creation in general. Just the ability to go with the flow and figure out, all right, either whether it be your own mood, whether it be chat's mood, realizing, okay, this small aspect that I didn't necessarily plan to be a big part of the stream is working really well, so now it's going to be a thing. Or just, for me, sometimes there's a topic that I strike upon with a guest that is something that we hadn't even discussed before the show, and that we hit upon, and it's like we run with it for a full 30 minutes or something because it just works and we're into it.
Yeah.
And are there any moments, whether it be in ASMR streams or in other types of streams for you, that something unexpected but very positive has happened that has led to something being more than what you planned it to be?
That's a good question. Sometimes I feel like just like when we just like talk for a long time. Like sometimes I'll plan like a whole thing, right? I'll like script stuff out or whatever, but we just end up talking. A lot of the time it's about like mental health and stuff. We just talk for a long time.
Just going off script, going into full improv, and just having a proper just chatting, and maybe you get to the script later on, maybe you don't.
Yeah, and I like those streams the most. I feel like I remembered them more.
Yeah, because it just, if you end up going on those tangents and they end up being sustained, it's because they work. It's because something good has happened, that something has clicked either with you or the audience, or hopefully both, and that it means that it's, I don't want to say more genuine, but I want to say it's more in sync with everyone, at least in the moment. That maybe it's just the mood of the night, maybe it's, you've had a long week and something comes up and it's been a similar thing for someone in chat, and just everyone's sort of on that same wavelength. Or sometimes it's that you realize, okay, whatever it was that I scheduled, on my schedule a week ago for tonight isn't what I'm feeling tonight, and that you're able to make that type of adjustment and do something that results in just a better quality stream for you as the content creator, and just by proxy for what gets put out and for what chat experiences. Because anytime the streamer is not into it, people can usually tell, and that you're always going to put out better stuff if you're into it in the moment.
Yeah, I feel like I've had those moments a lot recently where I try to like force myself to play a game or something, because I was trying to like, do different stuff. And I hated it, so I would just like BRB and come back and do ASMR, and ended up having a good night. And everybody else did too, so yeah, totally.
And it takes a self-awareness to catch even yourself and realize, okay, I'm not into it tonight, and I'd rather do this other thing, and being able to just do it. And luckily, one thing I've found for the VTuber community in general that is frankly one of the reasons why I was so taken with it all is that there are exceptions, but for the most part, people who watch VTuber content are very understanding and empathetic. That, going back to, we delayed this interview, that we were originally going to be doing this on Friday night, but you contacted me and were like, I'm not feeling well, I took a nap and was hoping that it would, improve, but just, I'm not at 100% tonight, can we delay? And I was immediately, yes, absolutely. And it's the type of thing that, whether it be someone from HoloLive or just, anybody at all in the VTuber community tweets out and says, hey everybody, I'm not feeling great today, so no stream today. And nobody ever complains. Nobody's like, I was really looking forward to this. Like, I'm disappointed. That people are always responding of, that's okay, feel better, rest up. And just that type of positivity is something that is very nice to see. And I think it extends very much to those types of on-stream changes, where you decide, all right, I want to go with this other thing that the VTubing community as a whole is very mental health positive and flexible and accommodating to the content creators, and that's not something that you see in every community.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of like toxic communities, especially on Twitch even, But I feel like with VTubing it's a little bit different. It can be, but for the most part.
Yeah, but obviously just law of large numbers, whenever you get thousands and thousands of people there's gonna be one or two jerks among them. But if you look at the, relative concentration of jerks in the large populations, I feel like we have a smaller proportion.
It's still like kind of niche too. There's a lot of VTubers now, but there's not as many VTubers as there are like regular streamers yet. So
For sure, yeah.
we still have
it's
a way
been
to
a
go.
So it's been a lot of fun seeing the VTubing community grow as a whole. That we mentioned this sort of in passing a little while ago, of just how HoloLive English really helped expand the community as a whole. It's certainly what brought me in. It's what brought a lot of people in. Just over the past year, that even now that, yes, we see some people graduate, but at the same time, every day there's more people debuting, and that VTubing, it was clear earlier this year, and it's just as clear now, that this is not a trend. This is not just fad. That this is a new vector of content creation, of streaming, of creativity as a whole. And we're still, I feel, in sort of the Wild West frontier phase of it all.
I think so too. It makes me think like, what's gonna happen in like a year?
Yeah, that we're getting to the point now where you have a lot of people hitting like 1-year anniversaries. There's a couple who have hit 2. I don't really know of anyone who is at 3 yet. That it's mostly just 1, and that thinking, all right, where are we going to be 3-5 years from now? That the internet moves very quickly, streaming moves quickly, and I don't think anyone can say definitively where things are going to go. But I am really looking forward to seeing where things end up.
Me too. We're gonna take over the world.
Yeah, hey, we had that trend, VTuber uprising.
Yeah, we weren't joking. I'm gonna hit my 1 year soon too.
Sorry, say that again?
I'm gonna hit my 1 year soon, and like...
Oh, yay.
a month.
When is that for you?
I think right after Thanksgiving.
Oh, wow, so it's coming up.
I actually don't know the date.
Do you have any anniversary plans that are in the works that you're able to talk about, or are those, classified for the time being?
I'm gonna have a birthday stream in December, and that's gonna be the big one.
Okay, so you're wrapping your birthday celebration sort of as a delayed anniversary, I suppose. That way you're not doing, 2 giant things in back-to-back months.
Yeah, because last year for my birthday was like my first like major stream. I mean, it was small, but I had like a party that I planned. So this year I thought it would be fun to have like a big party with a lot of stuff.
That's super cool. Only with things being the way they've been the past year and a half, that live events have not been as much of a thing, that they're starting to come back, but just, VTuber birthday streams or anniversary streams have become events unto themselves, and it's been very fun as somebody who likes parties and enjoys, big, exciting, happy gatherings.
Yeah.
To have that sort of alternate, and obviously it's not the same as being in person for a convention or a concert or something, but, in times like these, they do the trick, even if it's not a one-to-one recreation.
It's still fun.
For sure. That, I am actually just myself in the very early phases of planning and concepts for what will be my anniversary stream, which is going to be on January 15th, so it's a ways off, but concepting now and going to start putting in real legwork for the project probably in late November, early December, because I've got some exciting, fun things that I'm planning on doing for that day, and I'm looking forward to it. And
that sounds
as
exciting.
someone who likes projects and whatnot,
Yeah.
the
I'll definitely be there.
well, spoiler alert that it's something that I will be reaching out to all of my previous guests that I want to have as many people involved as possible, because I won't say on air at least what exactly it's going to be yet, but I will say that it's going to be a charity stream. So I'm going to be, reaching out to everybody and trying to, rally as many people as I'm able to get, and it's going to be fun. I don't know if it's going to be like 12 or 24 hours yet, but
Nice.
in the next couple of months I'm going to, hone in on what I want for all of it. And I'm an event nerd that I've always said. I didn't. The reason I started this show was because I didn't want to be the next Gura or the next Kali. If anything, I wanted to be the next Achan. I love organizing. I love back-end production and just that type of coordination. And that's sort of how Vtuber Talk came about.
That sounds exciting. I'm excited to see what you do for that.
Are there any big projects or streams that you've worked on either in the past or are sort of tinkering around with in the future? Those types of, big, exciting, splashy things. You mentioned that you had your birthday stream last year and that you're looking into your birthday one this year, but has there been anything else sort of along the way that has been more of a project for you?
I did just have my summon-a-thon last week, or the weekend before, I can't remember now. Yeah, I had a 12-hour summon-a-thon. And before that, mostly like my karaoke streams, I put a lot of like production effort into them. I learned about like 20 songs per show, so it takes a lot of work.
Oh my goodness, I didn't realize they were that long. That's a big set list.
Yeah.
That takes a lot.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. But yeah, I have my birthday coming up and something else coming up too that I can't talk about yet. You guys will find out.
Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned.
You guys will find out soon.
Yeah. While we're still here in ASMR Whisperland, do you have any other favorite props that are nearby that you want to show off?
I have... Okay, if you want to know, like, the favorite, it's definitely this one.
Sure.
Okay, so I always use this. Can you guess what it is, though?
I'm not hearing anything right now.
Don't hear.
Chat is definitely hearing it. That's interesting. That's weird.
That's so
How
weird.
did chat hear it, but not me?
Maybe if I try it in this one, huh?
I'm still not getting anything. One sec.
So
I
weird.
got the stream chat. If someone's like, I'm gonna listen in on the stream itself for a second.
I wonder why.
Okay, I definitely hear it on stream. It sounds a bit like static. Sort of a crinkling. I would guess, is that one of the blankets? No, blanket.
It's like a very specific thing.
Is it a sponge? I'm not sure.
It's an ear pick.
Oh,
Do you know what kind? Yeah, it's an ear pick, like the Japanese kind, so it has like a fluffy end. That's why you can get that sound. But I always use that.
Yeah, that's fun, and that's something that's particularly good when you have a 3DO mic, since it has, the actual human ears and everything.
Yeah.
That's something that, I was completely unfamiliar with ASMR as a whole prior to getting into VTubing. That I'd heard of ASMR and knew the basic concepts behind it, but I had never seen a 3DO mic or anything similar to that before. And it's been cool to sort of learn about these new and different things from whether it be people who have been guests on my show or just as I, sort of browse Twitch and whatnot, that one of the great things about VTubers as a whole is that they aren't limited to a particular discipline or genre, and that you really can learn about a lot of different types of things just from these different people because they have, their diverse interests and creative talents.
Everybody has their own take on stuff.
Chat's saying, is that scuff I smell? Is there something wrong? Uh-oh.
I don't think so.
Is everything okay? Don't scare me like that.
I think everything's fine. I think it's fine.
Or when you're not streaming, are there any sort of types of streams that you find yourself tending towards? Do you go to ASMR streams a lot, or do you maybe watch more game streams?
I watch, mostly I watch my friends. So, I always watch, my sister Sylvie. I don't know if you know Sylvie, but I always watch her streams. She plays, a different variety of games, and she sings too. And I always watch Vivi. You probably know Vivi, but I always try to watch Vivi streams because I think she's so funny.
Yes, yeah. That she's very similar to you. That she has a more manic energy than you, but you both have that very bright color that we were mentioning before, of it being bright, loud colors in contrast with soft voices. That you both have that. Hers pink, or sorry, not that yours is pink and hers is purple and yellow, but those very bright pastel neon colors.
Yeah, I love Vivi. She's so cute.
Yeah.
I mostly just watch all my friends that are online. Usually I'll pop into everybody's stream for at least 5 minutes and say hello. So you probably see me popping around.
Yeah, I'm very much the same. That I try and keep up with as many of my guests as I can, and now with it being 36 shows, that is getting progressively harder to do.
Yeah, it's a lot.
but I still try and I like to hit everyone up at least once a week, just pop in their stream. Usually it'll be giving them a hydrate redeem or something, sticking around for a bit. I'll usually have 2 to 5 tabs open at a time, depending. Yeah, that it's definitely one of the best and worst parts is that there are so many amazing VTubers and amazing content creators out there that you can't keep up with everyone as much as you want to, but just even being able to pop in for a little bit, definitely it usually it makes a difference.
It definitely does.
That people like to know that they are being remembered, and that even if you can't be there for the whole 2, 3, 4 hour stream, that just showing up is still something. So for all you folks out there in chat, remember to support your favorite streamers, even if it's only for a little bit.
Yeah, you never know how long you have.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. It matters. You don't have to stay the whole time. You don't even have to say anything.
Yep. Even lurkers. Lurkers make the world go round. That I don't know what the exact stats are, but I know it's somewhere around 10% of viewers on average chat. That the vast majority of people just lurk, and that's okay. That you're still supporting, you're still there, even if you aren't showing up in the little chat bar. That you're doing your part, and you're helping.
Yeah. I know it can be a little bit intimidating when you say hi, because you feel like you have to stick around. I don't always chat either. But
so for the different pieces, so you mentioned that's the ear pick. Do you have ones of different sizes, or do you have your just, one go-to ear pick there?
Wait, for what? Sorry.
For the ear pick,
Oh.
do you have different variations on it, or is it,
Oh, no.
one standard size?
I just have one. I have three, but they're all the same size for some reason. So
Well,
I
hey,
use one.
in case something breaks,
I
always
guess
have
so.
extras. Spares are important.
Well, I have cats too, so they take off with stuff.
I guess you probably make sure they're not in the same room, but, yeah. Let's just say that I have had multiple cats as surprise guests on my shows over the months.
I have this one cat who always wants in when I'm doing ASMR, so my chat knows him as Kenny. So sometimes he'll come purr.
Talks in the chat just mentioned Kenny might eat it.
Yeah, he's mean. He'll like bite me and stuff, but sometimes I'll pick him up. Sometimes he'll purr in the microphone.
Well, that would be a pleasant ASMR experience itself. Not a very reliable one, I suppose, but nice when it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, he's vicious. Usually he just like calls at the door though, and it's annoying, so. Yeah, they know Kenny.
For just everything on your cart, is there an item that you don't use much but want to start using more?
I'm looking at it now.
Perusing the options.
I have a lot of like crinkly stuff I don't use that often because it's kind of hard to get the sound correct. Like to where it's not too loud.
Yeah.
Probably those. Or maybe like I bought this like book, this like fairy tale book, and I was gonna read out
I
of
remember
it.
you did just like a soft-spoken fairy tale reading a couple weeks ago.
I used to do that more often, but I like to use it more because I bought it. I bought it because you can hear like the nice page turning and stuff, but it got a little bit annoying because my model looking down too much, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe if I could get like a book stand or something.
Yeah, like a book stand, or maybe type it up in a document, and that you can sort of make a note of where page turns occur. That way you can be reading off your screen, having your face up, and the book still near the microphone, so you can get that turn sound without having the look down issue.
That's a good idea. Or I can just pretend.
That works as well. I feel like, especially this month, and as you experiment with more horror-based ASMR and content in general, that like soft-spoken horror stories just pick up good old what is it? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I forget. I think that's the book name, but just a whispered horror story. I think would play very well this month.
I did that for my Summerthon. But
awesome,
it was like late.
Beat me to it.
Yeah, I did it twice, but it's like always at like 5 a.m. So yeah, it's pretty hard to catch. But yeah, I did like a creepy, scary story thing. But yeah, I'm gonna do more for sure. That was really fun.
Yeah, and I feel like that can really go anywhere with just any type of story, any type of book, or just maybe even audio drama or something. I'm not sure. That one of the great things about ASMR and really just content creation in general is just the number of possibilities is so endless.
Yeah, you can really do anything. Like I said, I have karaoke night. I can do whatever I want.
I see a couple people in the chat definitely like the idea of more spoopy stories time.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do more. We have a whole month of October.
So you mentioned that you're starting to do a bit more pre-recorded ASMR content. Do you have anything higher up on the list of themes or sort of prompts that you have planned that you might not have started yet?
Yeah. I guess, for Patreon, I'm doing a yandere script that I've been writing. But, yeah, that'll be out eventually. But I'm trying to think of what I want to do for YouTube. I was thinking about doing a tsundere script because I just got a can't scam back. That way I could use the art for it. But, I don't know. I kind of just think of stuff as I'm writing.
It makes sense. It's just, don't necessarily plan for it, but like we mentioned earlier, go with the flow and figure out what your mood is at that given time.
Sometimes it just starts like flowing, so I don't like to disrupt the process.
Yeah. Since we've been at this for almost 2.5 hours,
This always
I don't want
happens.
to I don't want to take too much of your time since it's getting later, but I do have a couple questions that I always like asking my guests as we start to wrap things up. First one is, do you have any goals that you want to accomplish before the end of the year? That, we're at the beginning of October now, so we have 3 months left, and you've already done a lot this year. Like we mentioned, that you've had your 2D model debut, you've really found and dove into ASMR, so there's a lot of things to already look back on. But is there anything that you have as that goal of, before the end of the year, I'd really like to get this done?
Before the end of this year, I would probably... I don't know, I like to focus more on YouTube. I would like to get partnered on Twitch, but I don't want to, put a time on that. So, it's okay
I
if it
definitely
doesn't
think
happen.
that getting a little purple check mark is... I think that's going to happen eventually. I'm pretty confident in that.
I think it's
For
fine if it's
YouTube.
not this year.
Even if not, I think we're going to see that eventually. I think we will see it before too long. But, for YouTube, so obviously you mentioned the pre-recorded ASMR content. Do you foresee most of your YouTube content being in that vein, or do you think that you might do some ASMR and, some maybe, clip compilations or silly little things?
Probably for YouTube, I want to make it ASMR focused, but I want to have music too. So
Ooh, yeah.
yeah,
And especially just, I suppose, like karaoke, and just, you do more compositions.
I want to have
You
an
mentioned you
original
wanted to do some
song.
covers.
Yeah, but probably not before the end of the year, but the next year for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely seeing just as people become more comfortable with streaming, that starting to branch out into other platforms and venues becomes more and more viable, and definitely see YouTube being a thing for a lot of people that just, analytics and growth and whatnot, that it's definitely good for that, but also it gives you a chance to sort of do that type of more curated and polished content
Yeah,
when
definitely.
you're not doing something live.
You can definitely make it sound like exactly how you wanted it to, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I like doing both. I like streaming too. I like the spontaneity of streaming, but I also I love writing, so I definitely want to focus on YouTube.
Yeah, and just learning that you enjoy writing has been a super cool thing of all this, of, finding out that you have this novel that you wrote a while back, and that you're writing already an ASMR yandere script, and looking more into that. And as you mentioned, that you have all these different axes of creativity, that you have just the ASM artist part, you have the writer, the musician, the cosplayer, the fashionista, and being able to bring all those different little elements into your content and into Muga is a very fun thing to see.
Thank you.
The last big question that I always ask my guests is, what does being a VTuber mean to you? And that's not what is the definition of a VTuber, but for you personally, Muga, what does it mean to be a VTuber? I've had some people take a very clinical, professional approach and say it is a tool that I use in content creation, and that it is a mask, it's an act, it's a new way for me to entertain. For other people, it's a bit more intimate of, I've had people say it's how I get in touch with my inner child, or it allows me to be that which I can't be in real life. So there's really no wrong answer for any of this. But for you, Muga, what does it mean to be a VTuber?
I think for me personally, it's a way for me to make a lot of stuff at one time and tie it all together into one theme. I always struggled with that, not being able to finish any of my projects because I had all these ideas. But now that I'm a strawberry hamster, I can theme it all and I get a lot more done. And it's nice to be able to, finally finish stuff and, achieve stuff. So for me, it's a way to do that.
That makes a lot of sense. One of the fun things, the reason I asked that question is, one, because it is different for everyone, and it's the type of thing that I've realized over the course of this past year, that I never know what someone is going to say before they say it, but once they say it, it makes perfect sense. And what you just said, it ties into things that I literally just said, of the fact that you have all these different creative abilities and interests, and that you already incorporate them all into your content. So for you to say that being a VTuber is that sort of nexus point that allows these different interests and creative passions to come together, it fits. It fits, and it's very you, and I'm so happy that you've been able to find VTubing, that you've been able to find ASMR, that I feel like that sort of double discovery over the past year and past couple months is always fun to see for someone, because it's clear that ASMR has, become a very strong interest for you. It's something that you've made really your main type of content, and it's clear that you're just scratching the surface of it all, both with the props and tools that you use for creating sounds, for the script writing, and for the different role plays, that I'm sure at this time next year we're going to see you be doing even more and going farther beyond than we could possibly imagine right now.
Yeah. I hope so. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna work really hard.
Before we go, any last sort of things you want to spotlight? I know you just released your schedule for this week, so go ahead and plug what you have upcoming this weekend. Anything else that you want to make sure people check out?
I'm notorious for this. I always forget my own schedule. Let me pull it. 1 second. I don't want to say the wrong name.
Now we get the keyboard ASMR.
I told you it always happens. Okay, yes. Tuesday, I will be doing ASMR, of course. And then Saturday, we're having a tea party, so we're gonna do, kind of like a tea party roleplay. I collect tea sets, so I thought it would be fun to do that, and then also experiment with liquid sounds, like I was talking about earlier. So yeah, that was the point in that. And on Sunday, we're gonna have emo night, so yeah, come check it out.
Yeah, sneak in one last question. What type of tea do you enjoy?
I like green tea.
Ooh, nice. I generally enjoy black teas myself, but I do like the occasional green tea as well. That tea's very fun and sort of interesting sort of drink area and world unto itself. So super cool to hear that. Definitely interested to see. I'm sure there will be just that soft clinking of the table, or sorry, not the table, but the cups and the saucers and everything. The sort of spinning of a spoon.
Yeah, it's
I bet
gonna be
there's
very
a lot of fun
experimental.
different things that you can do with that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Muga, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me tonight, for allowing me to come on your channel, for welcoming me into this space of yours. It has been such a joy, such a pleasure. For anyone who is watching this on YouTube after the fact, I will be making sure that all of Muga's social media links are in the video description. Be sure to follow her, check out her stuff. She does so much good work, and even though we've been talking in whispers for this past, 45 minutes or an hour or so, you have not seen her. You have not heard her doing her ASMR thing. This is, not even tutorial level stuff that we're doing right now. That when she is at work doing ASMR, she is up there with the best, and you absolutely have to hear it to experience it. So be sure to check her out. Follow her if you're not already. So much cool stuff, and like we've talked about, more stuff in the future to look forward to as well.
Thank you for having me too.
And thank you to everyone who's here in the chat, to everyone who has watched up to this point. I appreciate it so much. I'm Jay. I'm the host of Vtuber Talk. This has been a special on-site interview with Muga Matsui. It has been such a pleasure. So if you are interested in stuff like this, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter. It's just Vtuber Talk. Nothing special there, no weird spelling or underscores. If that's your liking, follow. If not, that's okay too.
No, go do it.
I'm just happy to be able to, help spread the word, spread the love, and that's part of the fun. Like I mentioned, there's so many amazing VTubers out there, and everyone has a different style. So, I hope that all of you have just an incredible night. Muga, again, thank you. This has been amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I can't wait to see what you do next too.
Definitely, that there's lots of fun stuff to look forward to in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I will let you go that if you want to continue and just, move into a more proper ASMR stream, by all means feel free to. If you want to wrap up right here, that's fine as well, whatever you like.
I think we'll go ahead and wrap up here.
Okie dokie. Well, I'll get going so Muga can wrap up as she sees fit. But for anyone who might have tuned in late, this will be on my YouTube channel in about a week's time. That way you can listen in and catch anything you might have missed. And otherwise, you all just have a fantastic night.
You too. Night night. One second. Hopefully I did that right. I know. Okay, well, I'm not gonna keep going because I'm kinda tired already. But I hope you guys learned a lot tonight. I talked about a lot of stuff that I don't usually talk about, so I was a little bit nervous, but hopefully it was entertaining at all. Okay, now I go rest. But I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Yeah, so no stream tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's a rest day, and then I'll see you guys on Tuesday night. Okay, let's find someone to read though. I'm still kind of recovering, so gotta get some sleep. Mia. That's right, Mia. Okay. Huh? That is Mia's name. Oh. Okay. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you go follow Vtuber Talk too. Bye bye.